welcome to once again a nice video.
Hi, Nikki.
Hi. So I was wondering, you've been involved in many culture programs, of which, as you say, many of them are also successful. But I was wondering, are there any mistakes that you also made?
Oh, how much time do you have, Nikki? No, the culture is a very complex thing, and but if I had to pick out one thing that has gone wrong very often, and when I really try to be more on point, is the why. So why to work on culture? So it happened too many times that you get an assignment from a potential customer and you start working, and then you have all these workshops, and every time in a workshop people are asking like, yeah, but why do we need to change? Why? So what did we do wrong? And so really putting time in why you want to work on culture, why you want to change a specific culture is very important.
Oh, nice. And do you have then also examples of a good why?
I think one of the best ones that I think I've ever seen is a company that was able to summarize their strategy in 4 or 5 words. So it was a big telco. They had very much pressure from startups that are doing all kinds of things in the communication market: Instagram, WhatsApp, Snapchat. And so they said, we want to go from telco to tech. We want to go from a telco company to a tech company, from telco to tech. And it was very nice that to always start with, since we want to go from telco to tech, it is important that we're going to work on ourselves, since we're going to develop the company, and that means we need to develop ourselves. Yeah.
Okay, so it also describes from A to B then.
Right. And the nice thing in this why was that you could say like we want to go from a clan culture to a market culture, for instance. But then the question is why. So the nice thing was that this why didn't have a behavior inside it. It was the company's going from telco to tech, and therefore we need to work in a different way together.
Okay. And is it then that you send the why into the organization, or you define a why engaging different employees?
Well, it's thanks for asking. It's extremely important that you have a why that you can share with actually all stakeholders involved. So you should always be able to, in every workshop, doesn't matter with who or whom, that you start with the why. Yeah, it should be a why that you can share. Yes.
Okay, and how would you go into that process? How would you define then that why engaging these employees?
Yeah, well, let's to be extremely short, make sure that you talk to a lot of people. So don't take the assignment from the person that is your customer, but make sure that you make a tour, that you have interviews, that you do a couple of workshops with well, preferably also maybe some shareholders, some customers, some suppliers, and obviously as many employees and leaders as possible, since normally everybody wants to work on culture, but most of the times all of them for a different reason, and you have to find, let's say, the most common mentioned reason, and then you have a quick step into your program.
Good, that's a good start. And then just for us, because we do culture work, what will be the why for culture work?
Well,
Trick question.
I definitely. So for me, definitely, I want to make work more fun. That is extremely important for me and for many of my colleagues. But at the same time, having a strong culture is definitely good for customers as well. And when the customers are happy, the shareholders are happy.
I love that why. Thank you so much.
Bye, Nikki.
Bye.